The first MacBook Neo completely blew everyone away, breaking sales records left and right like it was nothing. But here's the crazy part. The MacBook Neo 2 is already rushing down the pipeline, and it is coming way faster than any of us thought. I was just watching some crazy new supply chain leaks, and it looks like Apple is aggressively clearing the way for their next budget king. So if you literally just bought the first generation, you might want to look away. The data is showing that Apple has shifted its massive chip factories into overdrive specifically to make room for the Neo 2. If things stay on track, we could be looking at a launch as early as this coming January. That is just 10 months after the original dropped, which is basically light speed for Apple. Now, usually an early release just means a super tiny spec bump, right? Maybe a slightly better screen or a weird new color to get people talking, but an early launch is definitely not the main reason you're going to want to trade in your old machine. Memory is the real story here. Let us be brutally honest about the original MacBook Neo for a second. It came with 8 GB of RAM, and while Apple loves to say 8 is enough, anyone who opens more than 3 Chrome tabs knows the actual struggle. It became a massive bottleneck the second you tried to push the machine. Well, it seems Apple finally got the memo. The Neo 2 is heavily rumored to jump up to 12 GB of base memory. That is a massive deal, giving macOS actual breathing room. Whether you're juggling a bunch of browser tabs, running some light creative apps, or even trying to do some gaming, this extra memory is going to change the entire feel of the laptop. And honestly, they kind of have to do this, because the brand new Apple Intelligence features need that extra RAM just to function properly without setting the laptop on fire. And Apple is not just stopping at memory. They are planning to pair that new 12 GB of RAM with a seriously beefy processor. The rumors are pointing straight at the A17 Pro chip. Yeah, the Pro tier chip in the absolute cheapest MacBook. This brings a massive graphical leap, including fully hardware-accelerated ray tracing. Just think about that for a second. Apple's absolute cheapest entry-level laptop could actually become a little gaming beast and handle heavy video editing timelines without dropping frames. It is honestly kind of wild to think about, but wait, because fixing the RAM and the chip still would not solve my biggest pet peeve with the current model, the storage speed. The first Neo had a notoriously slow SSD that drove everyone crazy when transferring big files. The Neo 2 is fully expected to finally get faster storage. We are talking about possibly doubling the read and write speeds across the board. This is super important, especially when the system runs out of RAM and has to use the SSD as temporary swap memory. A much faster drive means the whole laptop will just feel snappier all the time. Then we absolutely have to talk about the charging situation. Nobody likes being tethered to a wall outlet. Apple might actually bump the wired charging speed from a sluggish 20 watts up to a really solid 40 watts. It is not exactly mind-blowing compared to smartphones today, but for a budget Mac, getting back to a full battery in half the time is a massive quality of life upgrade. And the connectivity is getting a massive glow up too. Word on the street is that Apple is dropping in their brand new custom N1 wireless chip. This means we are getting full Wi-Fi 7 support. You can expect insanely fast internet speeds, rock-solid stability, and the laptop will just smartly switch between bands, so you never lose connection during a sweaty gaming session. And yeah, all this hardware is the perfect playground for Apple's next generation, Siri. Now, with a bigger RAM baseline, a true pro-level chip, double the storage speed, twice as fast charging, and bleeding-edge Wi-Fi. You're probably thinking exactly what I'm thinking. There is absolutely no way this thing stays cheap, right? Which brings us to the absolute most important part of this whole massive leak. The one single thing that will decide if the Neo 2 absolutely dominates the entire market or completely flops, the price tag. Despite literally upgrading almost every single weak point of the first generation, early supply chain whispers are saying Apple is fighting incredibly hard to keep the starting price at exactly $699. Yes, you heard that right, $699. They are also expected to add a brand new 1 TB storage option if you want to throw more money at them, but that base model price is absurdly good. Oh, and before I forget to mention it, I know some of you saw those wild rumors last week about the Neo 2 getting a fully functional touch display. Yeah, you can go ahead and completely forget about that ever happening. The latest reports confirm that idea was completely phased out. Why? Because Apple is apparently hoarding all the cool touchscreen features for the ridiculously expensive upcoming MacBook Ultra, classic Apple, right? Keep the shiny new toys exclusively for the absolute top-tier buyers. But just take a step back and look at the whole picture here. If Apple actually pulls this off, delivering 12 GB of RAM, the powerhouse A19 Pro chip, lightning-fast SSD speeds, 40-watt fast charging, and Wi-Fi 7, all while magically keeping that $699 entry price. The MacBook Neo 2 will instantly become the most competitive affordable laptop in their entire lineup, so suddenly making a choice on what laptop to actually buy just got a whole lot harder. Would you pull the trigger on the brand new MacBook Neo 2 for $699? Or would you rather spend a chunk of extra cash and wait for the next premium MacBook Air? Drop your honest thoughts down in the comments below. I really want to know what you guys think. With that being said, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next ones.